When Vibe 105 reps, the whole city takes notice. We Reppin' is a northern salute to the top talents coming out the city and across Canada. If you're reppin', we're reppin'.
Toronto's diverse music mix, Vibe 105. What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, No Better Nina. And here with me today, I have a multi-talented R&B singer from right here in the city who's also been doing her thing across social media with tons of skits and challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nadia Stone.
Hi, what's up, Nina?
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Very excited to have you here.
Yay, thanks for having me.
No problem. So before we get into the nitty gritty of everything you got going on, because it's a lot, I want you to share your story with us in terms of how you got into music in the first place.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, when I first tried to get into the industry, I ended up going into a talent agency. And at that time, this talent agency didn't have singing because singing is my first passion. That's what I do. And it's my first love. But this agency had dance, commercials, stuff like that. And I thought, you know what? It's a good way to get my foot in the door to at least start with some of these things because I like to entertain in general, right? Mm-hmm. So I got to this talent agency at the time. It was called like Funky Talent. It's downtown Toronto. And I started doing like dance classes and I started meeting a lot of like the really big choreographers at the time and video directors. And then that's when I met Director X and I got chosen to be the lead girl in the Mario's Let Me Love You video. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like how I got my start. And I started meeting a lot of people from that music video. And like that video was crazy because it was airing everywhere. It was airing on like BT, MTV, Much Music. So I was getting like all this crazy screen time. The video was always like number one on every countdown. Like I'm half Italian. And I remember like my cousins in Italy were like, oh my God, this song's huge. Like it was big in Europe. So it got me a lot of recognition and a lot of exposure to work with different people. And that's when I was able to introduce myself properly. Like, oh, I sing, like, hey. So I started working with different producers from there and just started to crack in, try to hone in on what my sound was going to be and something that was going to set me apart from, I guess, there's so many female R&B singers. So I was trying to find that one thing that could set me apart. It took me a few years, I feel like, to find a niche, but the blue hair definitely helped into like standing, apart from everybody else. And for some reason, everyone thinks like when you get colored hair, you're a rapper. I am definitely not a rapper. I don't think anybody wants to hear me rap. It's not a good time, but it's definitely a singer. So I thought that was different. So I'm a singer with blue hair.
And you are just covering all my questions in that first one. But I wanted to ask, first of all, Let Me Love You probably has a whole other like meaning for you as a song than everyone else. It's so big today. That's huge.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah. So sometimes I can't believe it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the right way to go about it. You got to get your foot somewhere in the industry. And then from there, you kind of make your moves and make your way through it, right?
Yes, exactly.
So being a female rapper, which you briefly touched on, has kind of been a trend over the last decade or so with the rise of artists like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and a ton of others. Now, you said hearing you rap would be horrible, but I want to know what made you go the R&B route. Like, how did you discover that you had this voice that was good for R&B?
So when I first started to learn how to properly sing, I was like in my teens and I started working with an opera singer. And the reason why I got into opera is because because I am half Italian, being from an Italian background, it was like really big to like learn how to speak Italian and like sing in Italian if you're a singer. And a lot of that music was like opera music, like by artists like Andrea Bocelli and Laura Pausini, people like that. So I started like doing that in front of like my nonna at the time. And my family was like, you should just get into singing lessons. My opera teacher told me that if you learn how to sing opera first, you can literally sing anything. So at that time, that was like my goal, was to be able to like learn that and learn how to hit all these high notes. But as I was learning this with my teacher, she was like, you have such a raspy, soulful voice. And we noticed when we would try singing different songs like pop songs or like rock songs and, stuff like that, that I would always sound best with R&B. And to be honest, like R&B and hip hop is like my first love when it comes to music anyway. So it just was easy for me to just go right into that.
Mm-hmm. And so who would you credit your inspo to? You said R&B and hip hop was your first love. So
oh gosh, a lot. Groups like SWV and Total, Music Soul Child. I love Beyonce's vocal skill. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say I'm a fan of, is just how she's just so vocally present, perfect pitch. That really intrigues me. Who else was I would say Erykah Badu. God, there were so many. Like Aaliyah. Aaliyah is like my major one.
Yeah. So a lot of the goats, basically.
Yeah.
And you took a 1-year hiatus not too long ago. Why did you do that? And what did you do during that time?
Oh, man. So I ended up getting into like an indie label in Toronto. This was like 2018, 2019. I was with this indie label, and it went really bad, like how it ended. And I kind of got like bamboozled at this indie agency. Like there was finance problems. There was like a lot of lies going on. And you know what, as artists, they go through this a lot, where people are like taking money behind the scenes, or, you know, you're not getting all of your revenues from your streams because other people are, you know, splitting it amongst themselves without telling you. And I think because I'm so trusting, I definitely got backhanded with that situation, and it didn't end well, but I had to make a very like hard decision to leave that team behind and just be by myself. Even though it's nice to have a team, I just knew it wasn't right. Mm-hmm. So when that happened, it was really devastating. And that is the reason why I took a 1-year hiatus. And during that time, I just reflected. I was like, is this still what I want to do? How much do I still love music? Do I still have enough like drive in me to want to continue this and trust new people to work with? And I basically came to the conclusion that like music is always going to be my first love. I cannot just stop singing. Like, you know, it's like taking away from me. So I decided to get back into it again. And this time, instead of hoping for a team to help, I was like, you know what? Like, I know pretty much everyone in the city. Like, I can do this myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for sure, like at the end of the day, like you're gonna have these struggles and things will happen, but what matters is how you move forward. And I'm glad that you decided to stick with it, because you are very talented.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So you briefly touched on the blue hair. Now, was that something you did during the hiatus? Because when I scrolled through your Instagram, and I really scrolled, I figured out you were a brunette before the blue.
Yes.
What inspired you to do this? Because not that many people can pull that off.
Thank you. Okay, well, my favorite color is blue. It's always been blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I've never done colored hair before. So I actually colored my hair, I want to say beginning of 2018. It was like January, I want to say. Was it 2018? Yes, it was 2018. And I was just like, you know what? Something needs to change. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I was just like, you know what, first I was thinking a different haircut, but then I was like, I don't know if it's going to make me stand out enough. And then I was just like, well, let's just try blue hair. I originally wanted a different color of blue. Mm-hmm. And then the hairdresser ended up getting it more like a Kool-Aid, like aquamarine blue. Yeah. And the moment like everyone kind of just looked, we're like, yeah, this is it. Yeah. And I just rocked it ever since. And it's funny because people who did not care about me or my music before, because I've been doing music like quite a while, now all of a sudden they knew who I was. I'm like, damn, well, the blue hair helps. So
it's your trademark now. So
yes.
Is it hard when you're like coordinating outfits to make sure the colors don't clash? Like, how do you do that?
Sometimes I like wearing the color red, and I feel like sometimes it looks so bad with blue. But whatever. I just still try to make it work. I try to make the outfits like super stylish so that the color doesn't throw you off too much.
Yeah. And you do a good job at it.
Thank you.
Now, your comeback from your hiatus was kind of at a bit of a weird time because of COVID, but you dropped quite a few singles last year alone. So let's talk about what it was like for you to kind of step back onto this scene at a time where a lot of things were being put on hold or shut down even.
Yeah. That was like the worst time to want to go back in. But I think I would have killed myself from boredom if I didn't start doing that. And then I ended up getting on a roll. After I dropped my birthday, That was on my birthday, June 28th. I dropped it. After I dropped that, I was just kind of on a roll and I couldn't stop. I dropped 5 singles, 5 music videos. Well, actually 4.5-ish music videos, because the last music video was 2 of my songs in one.
Okay, gotcha.
The Psycho video, which was dropped during Halloween. Exactly. But yeah, I just felt like this was the best time to like just try new things with music. There was no timeline. There was nobody rushing me on dates. And I thought that I was like, why not like put it out now? This is the time when I feel like it was really authentic, because I really took my time. I listened to all my songs. I sat there, I wrote them. And I think this was the best time personally.
So then at what point did your focus kind of go into social media? Because as I mentioned off the top, anyone who knows you knows that you're a pretty big deal on socials. So how did that start? Was this something you did intentionally with music at first, or did it just kind of happen on its own?
I started doing stuff before, but I think like the blue hair definitely changed things for my socials. And because I do think that now where entertainment is going, like you can't just do music anymore. You kind of have to do everything to be shown in all platforms, especially now with TikTok, like just blowing up. I thought, why not jump onto that right now as well? Because it's actually bringing people back to my music, because I have my link there, right? Mm-hmm. And if I can use these platforms to bring people back to my music, it's a win-win situation. And because I like acting and modeling and doing stuff like that, I'm like, oh, it doesn't hurt. Like, let's do it all. Let's have fun.
Exactly. And, you do a lot of skits and challenges online. So share with us how this social media aspect kind of helped you when it comes to being an artist overall.
It definitely helps with confidence. Before, I was always second guessing, like how much of myself I should put out there. Mm-hmm. And I actually think that hindered me as an artist. I think now that I'm putting myself more out there with skits and stuff like that, it's actually letting people see that I have a personality and I'm not just this robotic person who sings. Yeah. So that's how it's been helping me, because they're like, oh, I can relate to her. And the more that they think that, the more they're going to want to listen to my music and try to understand my story.
Exactly. You're not just a bunch of like pretty Instagram pictures. You're more.
I am definitely not trying to do that. Like, yeah, I'm kind of a goofball. So I don't want people to know that. Like, why not?
Exactly. And now, is acting something you've ever considered going into? Because I see a lot of your skits that you do with Bilal Dawson as well.
Yeah. Yes.
You've ever considered going into it all?
I actually just started. No. Summertime 2020 is when I officially said, okay, I would love to get into acting as well. So now I have an acting agent.
Oh, perfect. That's awesome. So is there anything coming up that we can look forward to, or maybe you can give us an exclusive or something you have going on right now with acting?
Not just yet, because I feel like the auditions rate is so low right now because everything's kind of been put on hold. But the cool thing is that I have, like, my agent has been telling me that there's a lot of different people that are interested in doing like TV shows, or I might show up on like an episode here and there. So let's be hopeful for this year that I can actually start going to more of those auditions.
Yeah, for sure. That's super exciting. I could definitely see you being on some kind of TV show at some point.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're trying. 2021, hopefully.
And so we're going to play a quick game of this or that now.
Okay.
Social media edition. It's very short.
I love it.
And you're going to tell us why you picked the one that you picked. So the first one I'm going to go with is Triller or TikTok, because I see you active on both of those. So
right now, 1000% TikTok.
Yeah. Okay. And why? Well, what is it about TikTok that's better than Triller?
The cool thing about TikTok is that the algorithm is not like Instagram's algorithm. Anybody can blow up on TikTok, which is really cool. And my TikTok following literally grew overnight. Whereas Triller, I find it's a lot harder. TikTok, there's also a lot more trends, whether it be like funny trends, dance trends. So you can kind of show way more different type of footage of yourself rather than Triller. So TikTok.
And TikTok's just full of hilarious videos.
Oh my God. I'm on all day long. I'm addicted.
Same. Okay. Instagram or Snapchat?
Oh, Instagram.
And which one for filters now? Instagram filters or Snapchat filters?
Ooh, okay. So I used to be like all about the Snapchat filters, but now I've been finding some like really hot ones on Instagram. So I'll have to go with Instagram filters.
Yeah. Okay. So why do you like Instagram overall better than Snapchat?
I don't know. I've never really been a Snapchat poster like that. Like I post there sometimes, but I kind of neglect it. I feel like Instagram, like you can hashtag so many things. Different people will see your platform that way. Whereas like Snapchat, I think is a bit more private. Like people physically have to like go on there and add you and they only get to see one thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Yeah. Do you
Twitter.
actively use Twitter, or is it something you just kind of like here
I
and there?
I definitely use Twitter here and there, but my Facebook is like obsolete. Like I don't even, like I'm surprised that thing is still even exists.
That's fair. That's fair. Because my Facebook is the exact same.
Yeah.
And the last one, it's not really social media, but Spotify or Apple Music.
Spotify.
Yeah, I don't use Spotify. I don't get the hype of Spotify. You want to?
You know, it's so funny. I was totally an Apple Music girl, and my sister had Spotify. Bilal had Spotify. My best friends had Spotify, and they were all like looking at me sideways when I had Apple Music. Until I finally just downloaded it one day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. Like the mixes on Spotify. Like let's say like you're working out, and it's like you just want a different change of pace. You don't always have to make your own playlist. Like there's some really dope ass like playlists out there that you can just click on, just type in workout, and they're fire.
Yeah.
And they'll go based off of like what you've already added too, which is cool.
Yeah, I'll consider giving it a try. But I have Spotify. I just literally never use it.
No, I'm telling you, Spotify will change your life.
So out of all the social media platforms we talked about, out of every single one, which one is your ultimate favorite, like go-to that you're always on, always posting content on?
Definitely TikTok now.
Yeah.
Like TikTok and Instagram for sure, but I think TikTok is slowly surpassing my Instagram posting now.
It's
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the performing side of things, because you have done quite a bit of performances and you actually opened up for Justine Skye on her Ultraviolet tour. Now, oftentimes you'll hear people kind of discredit the importance of an opening act. So speak to me about some of the takeaways for you being an opening act for an artist and performing in cities that you're not necessarily even from.
It's a gift and a curse. The great thing about it is that you're going to open yourself up to an audience that's never seen you before. And a lot of new people like to hear new music and new artists. So that's the good part. The bad part about it is that if the audience is coming specifically to see that artist, they're quick to already just kind of shun you before you even open your mouth to sing, because they just have it in their mind. Like, I don't care about everybody else. I just want to see the act. So it's a good and bad thing. Either way, I walk away with new fans to add to my audience. So whatever, it's a good thing for me.
Yeah, exactly. More exposure, and it's important for you, at least like you don't take that to heart, you know, you still going with it, which is what's important.
Not everybody's gonna love you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As I was doing my research, I noticed that one of the genres of music you listen to that is quite unexpected is rock, like Disco, Nirvana, Nine Inch Nails. So
yeah, I love Korn too. I was like a huge Korn fan. A lot of people are like, "Who the hell is Korn?" I'm like,
I don't even know what the hell Korn is.
They were fire. You need to look them up. Like they were so good.
So I'm curious now if you could dabble into any other genre of music. I know you mentioned some of them off the top of the interview earlier, but what would that genre be if you could do any other genre?
Okay, well, I did do a little bit of trap music at one point when I was in Italy. And oh my God, that was so crazy. And I was singing on trap. I wasn't rapping, I was singing. So that was interesting.
It could still work.
I guess you're right. It could still work, but this was like hardcore trap.
Yeah.
But rock, I don't know. Like I love electric guitars. I love stuff like that. So I don't know. I wouldn't be closed off to it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's maybe I can kind of like ease into it by getting like a feature with a rock artist. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. If it was me, my dream rock artist would have been like Avril Lavigne or something. So.
I loved Avril Lavigne. I still think she's the GOAT.
Yeah,
don't sleep on Avril, people. And she's Canadian, like.
Speak to me about some of the things that you learned in creating your debut EP, Two Birds, One Stone. Love the play on that, by the way. That you would like to incorporate into your next project in the future.
That's a really good one. I was in a very different place in my life when I made Two Birds, One Stone. My hair was still brown then.
Yep.
Yeah, very different. And you know what? That was actually the first like I would say full body of work that I released as an artist. Because before that I was doing like random singles and stuff, but that was like the real like full on body of work because there were six songs on that EP. I was doing a lot more darker music with Two Birds, One Stone. I feel like I was still finding myself during that time. And I've learned so many new things now, even when it comes down to mixing the songs and how to make my voice stand out more. If I'm going to be doing an EP now, I want to incorporate something with the whole like stone and like my whole like diamond logo and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be fun too, though. I want to add more like fun party music. And that's why I released my birthday, because I wanted like something for the girls. I want to do more for women.
Mm-hmm. And that's definitely for the girls. That's for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Speaking of what's next, what can our listeners expect from you in the near future?
Well, I'm very excited to say, so I'm sure like majority of people know who DJ Universe is.
Yes. I saw you doing a bunch of stuff on Instagram with her. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah. So her and I have been getting like pretty close lately and just collaborating on a ton of things. Like I've done stuff with her clothing lines, and I've been writing like demos for her and stuff like that too. And she's been doing a lot of amazing stuff. Like her beats are insane. Mm-hmm. But the most exciting thing is that her and I have a brand new song together called What You Sayin'. And the music video is crazy. We just filmed it last month. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be dropping, I hope, either end of February or March. Okay. So that's when that can be expected. But it's called What You Sayin', and it's fun. Like it's a good radio track.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yes.
Last but not least, where can listeners check out your music and follow you on social media?
They can check out my music on Apple Music, Spotify Music. You can find me on Instagram at Nadia Stone. You can find me on TikTok at official Nadia Stone. But my link tree's in my bio on my Instagram page, and everything's attached to there.
Perfect. Nadia, thank you so much for joining me and speaking with me today. It was a pleasure. Y'all make sure to go check out Nadia Stone's music on all streaming platforms. And here she is now with her track Broke Bad.
Hey, thank you.